and they'll be proud to pay. Still out here on this mission and I'm miles away. Somehow I feel like recently I found my way.
Welcome back to the Zach Knows Podcast. I'm Zach Collins. I want to formally apologize because I know I ain't been here in a minute, but I just had to get back in the groove of things, had to figure out what days I'm going to shoot. I think I'm going to dead set on Tuesdays and Thursdays, being that I'm not on my other show, Panther Sports Zone, on those days, so I feel like it'll be better if I just create my content on those days, be able to get out my full opinions out on certain things and just find a rhythm that type of way. So that's why I really haven't been doing it. I've been trying to get my schedule together, figure out everything that's going on. So I'm sorry for that. But let's start off with the PV news. I want to formally congratulate our men's basketball team. They're 8-0 in conference so far. Right before they get onto the Alabama part of their schedule where they play Alabama A&M and Alabama State back-to-back. One on a Saturday and one on a Tuesday. They just completed their month of January. They went 8-0. Congratulations to them. Everyone was talking about Texas Southern game. Ended up beating Texas Southern, although I don't think their 7-2 big man was there. So that played a factor in it. That'll be one of the issues I discuss after I run us down to the scores that I missed. 55-51 to Jackson. I watched the Jackson game. What I took away from that is at times we can't really find a rhythm on offense. We get into these ruts. We start off games pretty good, but towards, I would say, the 18 to 22-minute mark in quarters in the first half, that's when we really lose our rhythm. That's when it's really – no one really has the ability to step up at that point. I think they're tired. I think they're still trying to figure out what they want to do as an offense in them areas. That would be the biggest thing because at times they are getting subbed out every 2 to 3 minutes. So that becomes an issue. But games like that stick out to me because they find a way to win. No matter if they're in a rut, no matter offensively, if they can't get anything going. Our big man, Andrews, he was the leading scorer. He only had 12 points. But the ability to win those close games where you're not playing your best basketball, that is what sticks out the most to me, being that if you can find a way to win in those instances where it's not going for you, when the nights when everything's falling for you, that's only going to elevate your play and that's only going to lead you to a certain standard of where you need to go. Moving along, we beat Grambling 83-66. Gary had 21 and 8. Dennis had 16. Those when that's able to happen, when we're able to find our rhythm, when I feel like we get up for the games and we have a certain level of intensity and certain look in their eyes to where, they know who's coming in. They understand that Grambling was picked to win the conference before the season. They understand certain things were happening prior to coming into that game. So I feel like with the Jackson game, they weren't really looking forward to it. They didn't think that much competition was going to happen. They didn't think that they were going to get out physical on the boards, which let me get into my biggest issue with the team, is we don't have a legitimate big man that is just simply there for rebounds. As I continue to read you the stats, it's twice Gary has to have 11 rebounds. He has 2 double-doubles in the last 2 games. But I don't want that from my point guard. Not when I've visually seen certain players be pushed all the way from the box to the three-point line and blockouts in certain situations. When it's not like we just have all skinny guys. It's not like we just don't have the ability to get a rebound. It's more of a want-to. The kid from Texas Southern had, 20 rebounds? Things like that is what sticks out. That's really my only issue within this 8-0 streak, within this season that I've seen them play so far. It's just the rebounds. We know who our main man is. We know Gary is going to give us points whenever we need it, anywhere from 15 to 25 when we need to get those points. We understand that Dennis is going to provide another scoring option off of the bench or if he starts that night. We understand that 2 comes in and he's going to let it fly from wherever he gets the ball. And I think everyone is starting to learn their role. I still think we need to find a way to get T-Wall freakishly physical self into the game, if his ego is not big enough to where he just comes in and gets a rebound, because he's 10 times more physical than anybody else on the court, but that's just the football in him. I feel like if they find a role for him to be able to get on, I feel like that'll take this team to the level they need to, because when we come back again on the 9th, 7-2 kid might be back. And the only person that could probably body him is Tristan. So that's just something I want to lead into. But let me continue on with the scoring. We beat Valley 89-78. Andrews had 15. Gary had 14 and 11. That's his first double-double of the weekend. 79-63 is when we played Pine Bluff last night. Gary had 29 and 11. That's his 5th double-double overall in his 8-game winning streak. So that's another theme is he is, like I said, since we don't have enough rebounding, he is starting to pick up the slack in that case. And with him being the leadership, him, Dennis, and other players, that's just more the tender players, more the people that's been there a while. You can see they learn that they have to pick up the slack where their team is lacking in order to win. And I want to congratulate them because before we started SWAC play, it was a lot of questions going on, especially for me, just trying to figure out, did we find our rhythm? Did we understand what we were doing? And it seemed like they're starting to grow through SWAC play. They're starting to mature as the season goes on. They're starting to understand how this game works. They still need to fine-tune a lot of things because with the rematch coming up on the 9th, I would say. But congratulations, man. But just don't do what we did. Don't reach a certain point in the season where you're ranked number 1 in the West, ranked number 1 overall, and think you're finished. You still got a lot of season to go. We still got the full month of February, a couple games in March just to get to the dance, to win the SWAC tournament, then to get to the actual NCAA tournament. It's still goals that need to be accomplished. We're just going to point out the same way I was able to talk bad when they went 1-9 is the same way I'm going to talk good when they're on an 8-game winning streak, and I want to be able to give them congratulations. And second behind them is the girls is not doing too bad either. They're 6-2 in conference so far in the last 4 games. We beat Jackson 76-57. That was more of a dominating performance. I felt like that was the offense we needed to see because prior to that, they played Texas Southern. It wasn't clicking. It seemed like Texas Southern had an answer for everything they did, and now they found themselves that we're in a rhythm. Going on to Grambling. They lose to the Miss Quadruple Double herself, late seconds. I think she scored a layup and turned around and had a block. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me about that game is I watched the film and Shayla's on the bench. You're going to see in a minute why I'd say it's a problem that Shayla's on the bench. But that was my biggest takeaway. I don't know if she had fouled out. I don't know if her and the coach had got into it. I don't know what it was. They tried to get the ball to the second scorer, which is 12. I can't think of her name right now, which she always gives quality points. They got her in the corner in the 3. That's what they always want. That's the 3 she shoots. But I'm giving the ball to Shayla in that instance. We're only down a point. Shayla can get to the cup and get a foul. Last year, she led the nation in free throw attempts and she free throw percentage. So I'm giving the ball to Shayla in that predicament. That's just what I'm going to do. But we lost to Gremlin. Then turnaround play Valley. Shayla has 30 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. I guess kind of trying to reestablish herself as she is that dog figure within our offense, within our team. And then turn around last night, she goes for 19. We had 3 players in double figures. So that's just my biggest issue of why she wasn't on the court at the end of the game. When this is somebody we can lean on, when this is somebody that has the ability to take over a game, that knows when to score. Her decision-making at times is questionable because it was one point where she's driving and 12 is in the corner for a 3. But she gets in her zone to where she's so focused on scoring, she's not really looking. So that can be an issue. I could see where there was a problem late in the game. But I'm still going to give my best scorer an option to close the game out for me. That's my only deal. But once again, they're doing good. They're 6-2. They're getting right into conference. They are going to have a rematch with Gremlin. They are going to have a rematch with the other team they lost to that I'm blanking out on right now. But upcoming, they have Alabama A&M, Alabama State. What I see for that is it's the SWAC. Everybody has a chance to win, no matter if they're at the top of the conference or the bottom of the conference. It's going to be intriguing games, something to look forward to. Just the length of travel, just everything they have to do to get there. But once the 2 teams get there, I want to see how they come out. Are they ready to play and everything they have going for themselves. Now, I know we've been waiting on this. We'll start off with the NFC Championship game, and really my thoughts from it goes from we'll get to the refs for the refs being from Southern California. We'll get to the call at the end or the no call at the end. We got to get all of there. But first, let's go to the point of Saints defense is balling at the beginning of the game. Saints get the ball first. What do? Kick a field goal. The Rams get the ball. Defense stops them. Saints get the ball back. Drive it down again. What do again? Kick a field goal. That's a point differential of 14 points if you score touchdowns to the 6 points where they actually score field goals. So that's an 8-point difference. 8 points is what they would need if they didn't get to overtime and didn't lose by a field goal. If they score that field goal, you would still be winning by 5 points. That's the first quarter. It's a long game when you play football. It's an extremely long game. So obviously they come back. They come back again and score again. They get the lead up to they have a 13-0 lead. You think, oh, we're going to pin our ears back. We're going to win this game. We're going to cruise into the Super Bowl. It's exactly my mindset while I'm out working a camp. Because I have to work a camp. But Rod is there with me. We're keeping track of the game. I understand what's going on. But I'm also thinking, this is Drew Brees. This is Sean Payton. They've been in this position before. They understand what it takes to win. They know how to win. And apparently they don't. Not in this instance, not understanding who they're playing against. That youth actually prevails for the first time in forever, because that's not how the NFL works. The NFL wants you to play your role. The NFL wants you to play their game. They want you to do it on their rules. They want you to do it on their time. And Sean McVay isn't doing that. And that's just inspiration to me. But there's plenty of times the Saints could have won this game. The Saints got the ball the first part of overtime. The Saints had missed calls. The Saints had instances where the game was in their hands. Todd Gurley wasn't having a good game. He said he played like he stood up and said he didn't play good. So there was a recipe for the Saints to win. But at the end of the day, when Drew Brees throws that pick and Michael Thomas is more worried about trying to get his call rather than Buddy just falling back and just catching the pick, you deserve to lose those games. And they're making this big deal. You got Cameron Jordan wearing a shirt talking about blowed whistles, not games, and things of that nature. This game was in your hands. And that's something that's preached within the game, that no matter who you're going against, no matter if you feel like all the refs are against you, the team is against you, you're in other people's place, you're not. You was in New Orleans. This was in your hands. You had the ability to make a play. It was up to you what was going to happen in this game. And you didn't allow it to happen. You didn't make a play for your team. You didn't stand up for what you wanted. You didn't want to go to the Super Bowl bad enough, honestly. You didn't. Because it was nothing. If you would have told me Jared Goff goes into, before the season, Jared Goff goes into the Superdome and beats New Orleans to get to the Super Bowl, I would have laughed in your face. I still don't think Jared Goff has the ability to do that. But everyone around him definitely does. We have to give our hats off to the way Ndamukong Suh played, the way Aaron Donald played. All the money, all the moves they made this offseason came to play. Aqib Talib being back shifted the way the defense is able to play. It seems like the Rams was on top of everything that the Saints, all their calls, they knew where Michael Thomas was going to be. They knew where Michael Thomas would line up, what was happening in that instance. The Rams played the numbers. Wade Phillips called an outstanding game. He put his players in position to make plays, and that's ultimately what they did. I feel like Suh bought in, and you could see why he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. You could see why he's been an All-Pro a couple of years in his career. You can see the Pro Bowl caliber player. This is the Suh we wanted. This is the Suh that we've been waiting for. Then they understood when they put Sue and Donald on the same side, you can only double one of them. You gotta pick your poison, and you're not gonna leave Sue one-on-one on the inside. That's just not what's gonna happen. So you're gonna double. It's just not gonna happen. Now, shout out Whitworth, because obviously some O-line has to get talked about. But in the end, Davenport wasn't ready. Jordan wasn't ready. Apple didn't finish it off. I always blank out from the kid from Ohio State. He's the reason they got to this game. And I should have known. I should have seen it because their offense was stagnant in points of the Eagles game. The only reason they won the Eagles game is because they went for it on 4th down with Taysom Hill. So you could see the offense slowly declining. You could see, and I'm so glad we put the rest of the MVP conversations for Drew Brees just because I don't feel it's necessary. I don't feel that he's had a better season to compare to Patrick Mahomes in any way, shape, or form. He just didn't outplay Patrick Mahomes. Now, is this a quarterback award only? No. But when you have Alex Smith probably throws 25 touchdowns in his offense. Same weapons, same play caller, double the touchdowns, half the interceptions, and he plays extremely more dangerous than Alex Smith. Alex Smith is a game manager, and Patrick Mahomes is a gunslinger. And he produced more, turned it over less, and it's nothing you can say. You can't. Last year, nobody was saying Tyreek Hill was a top 10 receiver. They called him a returner. That's what Jalen Ramsey was arguing. But granted, Drew Brees out of Mike Thomas, you got Tommy Lee Lewis, which is who got hit on the no call. He doesn't really have the weapons, but he has two formidable running backs. Kamara had the game of his life. Kamara was balling. They didn't have an answer for Kamara because they were so focused on Mike Thomas and then understanding the lockdown everybody else. With Kamara in the backfield, I don't care if Mark Barron is on me. He can't guard me one-on-one. If I'm running straight and somebody's running backwards, I'm going to beat them with the athleticism that Kamara has. I feel like Kamara was more of an MVP than Drew Brees because of all the dumping and things he was doing in that type of way. The offensive line, they got manhandled again. But you play a defense that's 8 deep the week before. You're going to get broken down. And then turn around and have to play Sue, Fowler. I didn't even explain how Fowler, I'm so proud of Fowler just for the fact of you tear your ACL on the first day of training camp. And you never fully live up to your first round draft pick status. And then they put you in, then they trade you to one of the winning teams. While your team is losing, why they think it's down, they probably thought he was finished. But when you're a first round draft pick, you're going to get multiple chances before they kick you out. Excuse me. So he got his chance, and he made the most of it. You could see that Florida Fowler, he's starting to come into his own. And he's beating one-on-ones. You can't put someone with the athletic prowess of him one-on-one and expect him not to get to the quarterback. And he's the reason why Drew threw that terrible interception. I don't know why Drew thought he had the wherewithal to still make that throw at this point in his career with him turning 40, 41. But congratulations. I'm extremely proud of Red to go from playing in places like Lorman, Mississippi to who was in Baton Rouge last year. Like in these games where the most we probably played was when we played Grambling and Cotton Bowl. It was probably like 25,000. Now he playing the LA Coliseum where it's packed out, 110. Playing the Superdome was probably the loudest stadium outside of Seattle. Things like that. Like for him to make that just a year difference, it's crazy. But yeah, just for him to come from the places we played in. Now he's playing in LA. He just won the NFC Championship. Now he's going to Atlanta. That's just a sense of the same way I would say McVay inspires me to be able to be great within a coaching realm, to be able to understand that you don't have to wait until you're 40, 50 to get your head coaching job. You can be 32, 31 and get to that plateau. That's something that I take away from that more than anything. So shout out to Red. He inspired all of us to understand that it doesn't matter what level you play at. As long as you continue to put the hard work in, to continue to do what you feel like you're destined to do, God is going to make a way for it. So salute to him. Now the refs. Yeah, for him from Southern California. Yeah, this crew had the Rams 0-8, and they didn't want to go 0-9. All of that doesn't really matter to me. I just explained to you why this game was in the Saints' hands to win. So who cares about missed calls? Missed calls happen all the time. Bad calls happen. It's all about how you respond to it. So for me, I just felt like it was too much onus being put on the refs and that missed call and everything everybody was complaining about that, and not the fact that it was missed points. It was points left on the field for the Saints that nobody wants to talk about. So that's my spiel on that. Moving on to the AFC Championship game. I fight a lot of things. I fight LeBron being the best player. I fight Tom Brady being a GOAT. I fight a lot of things, bro, but it's certain things you just gotta accept there's greatness. And it's certain things to where you have to understand what you're seeing, you will never see again. You'll never see a team make 9 Super Bowls in a 20-year span. You'll never see a team go 4 for 5 or 5 for 6 or whatever they're at this point. You'll never see it again. It just won't happen, let alone winning these Super Bowls. We've seen a team go 4 years in a row and never win one. But what Tom Brady is doing, what Bill Belichick is doing, you have to congratulate you. I can't hate on the fact that he's found a way to help his team win. When they tell him he's too old, when they tell him he can't throw, when they tell him all of these things of he's just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. And every time you think the Patriots are done, they come and do miraculous things like what they just did. And that's a testament to the belief in that building, the belief in everything that's going on, understanding who their quarterback is and not putting him in situations to where they feel like he'll have to do more than he's capable of. He's always put in the right position. He's always going to get a matchup that he likes, whether it's down at the end of the game and it's one-on-one against Eric Berry. He has Gronk. Of course he's going to throw that fade. Why wouldn't he? That's somebody who's gotten him in these places before, who he understands. Eric Berry only been playing, 5 games? Of course I'm going right at him. It's not even a question. Not a question in my mind. Now during this game, Sonny Michel went off. Like 3 touchdowns in the first half. It took away from it. They took off from the Chiefs instantly. Without like a blink of an eye, it's gone. I keep looking at the score, and nothing changes. It's just gone. And then that guy comes out, and then you see the future of the league, and then you understand why I say he's the MVP of this game. And then Damian Williams just comes and devalues everything the running back is supposed to mean to me. This man didn't play the first 3 weeks of the season. He done been on 4 or 5 teams. He got cut off the Dolphins, who have Kenyon Drake at running back, and then he comes here and has 3 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game, and they're looking at Le'Veon Bell like, why do I have to pay you? Like, I can find a running back anywhere as long as my line blocks. And I don't feel like that's a real testament of what's going on. I just think Damian Williams was undervalued at times. I feel like he maybe not have been utilized the way he needed to. He found a position to where he can flourish, and they gave him the opportunity, and he took full advantage of it. That's the thing. Either with opportunities, you're going to take them and run with them, or you're just going to give them away. So, salute to Damian Williams. I want to congratulate him on him being able to do what he did. Did he hurt the running back position? Yes. extremely hurted. But Sonny Michel was in the game. Sonny Michel is the first round pick. Sonny Michel also had 3 touchdowns. Things like that. You get to the end of the game where the offensive line is just pounding the Chiefs, just whooping the Chiefs. Whatever they wanted to do, they was allowing it because the Chiefs was on their heels. The Chiefs, whenever a defense goes into a series thinking, I can't let them score, points are going to be scored on them. They're going to overthink. Their eyes are not going to be focused. They're not going to rely on their keys. They're going to start thinking on their own intuition. And that's not even including the Chiefs defensive coordinator getting fired because he didn't make any changes. He didn't do anything. His biggest change was, I think, he benched Orlando Scandrick, which everybody and their mama was calling for. But as far as adjustments, they were minimal to none. And that ultimately hurt his team. I knew Patrick Mahomes left too much time on the field for Brady to score. In that instance, would I have liked to see him go for it on 3rd down and then kick the field goal? Yes, because I want to. With Brady, I'm ending the game in regulation if I have the opportunity to. I can't leave him too much time. He's done this too many times. Him and his receivers throw 365 days a year. They understand when Brady turns his shoulder a certain way that ball is coming, or they're just in sync. They're around each other so much that they know what he's thinking. They understand everything he's signaling. They understand his dummy signals. They understand whenever he looks at you, they have all his little nuances of his game intact. And I have to be able to say that's what was going on. Now I was watching the little mic'd up thing after the game, and what really stood out to me was Sammy Watkins. In my eyes, has always been somebody that's, I wouldn't say he's extremely vocal. Like he doesn't really speak out. He's not really in the media. And coming from a receiver, you would expect them to want attention, to build a brand, to do these types of things in order to elevate themselves after the game. But during the game, he's talking it up. He's getting his O-line together. He's talking to everybody. He's telling them, all right, come on now, we got to score on this drive, things like that. And that's something that stood out to me, just being the fact that I always thought that he was a more quiet or didn't really try to speak to rile the team up as much. That stood out to me. Whatever else I take away from it is that even Belichick couldn't stop the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. He stopped it in the first half, yes. But there's no reason. There's no team where you should score 31 points and lose a game. None. Especially not against the Patriots where they don't give up 31 points. So for them to score that many points and them lose the game, they deserve to. Because their offense gave it to them. No matter how many times they was on the field, when I give you 31 points as an offense, we should not leave that game with a loss. So that's my biggest issue. So then I was forced to see Patrick Mahomes to go to the Pro Bowl. Do I think the Pro Bowl should be ended? No. Do I think it should be taken more seriously? Yes. Why isn't it taken more seriously? Not enough money. They're not in Hawaii. Not enough money, not in Hawaii. It doesn't have an implication on the Super Bowl. The people that were originally supposed to be in the game that the fans voted in, they don't end up going, a lot of them. And just certain things like that. Like, it's just, throughout my life, I've seen the game go from Sean Taylor killing a punter to now where Dee Ford gets to the quarterback and doesn't even sack him. He just wraps him up. And that's an issue I have. But do I think it should be ended? No. This is something that means something to players. It's an incentive-based thing. But I do have an issue with just the way it's being played. The mockery is being made of. I did like the little things where Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Mike Evans is on defense, Jalen Ramsey catching a slant touchdown from Deshaun Watson. You know, things like that. AFC won, obviously. Patrick Mahomes and Jamal Adams being the MVP. Those are things that I liked. But did I like the way the entire game was played? Not at all. Do I think the Patriots mascot is just trying to get some money? Very much so. Very much so. But when you have all pro safety tackling you, of course you're going to try to make it look like something it's not. But they definitely should bring the lineman challenge back where I remember when I was younger, Larry Allen just benching until his arms gave out and nobody could match him. I want to see who's the strongest man in the league. I want to see who's the fastest man in the league because there's a lot of talking and not a lot of racing. But you got to make an incentive based on that. You got to understand these players, the season is over now. This game is just extra. So everything is about money. They want money. So if you put, and the NFL is making money even when they playing this terrible game of the Pro Bowl. No, I haven't gave you my picks yet. I still ain't figured out who I'm going to pick. I'm definitely going to pick on Thursday, but just don't worry about that. But, yeah, do I think it should be in it? No. Now, let's finish this off. Let's go to the NBA. Harden is playing out of his mind for a month straight. Do I think this will continue in the playoffs? No. Will he be tired by the playoffs? Yes. Is CP3 ever going to come back and help him? Are they going to have a third option outside of CP3 when he comes back? Because Harden putting up 30, 40, 50 points. And the nights he doesn't, they lose by 30 to the Sixers. So do I think this is going to last? No. Not at all. Am I proud of what I'm seeing? Yes. Do I think that he's the runaway MVP? No. But is he in the conversation? Yes. Him, Giannis. I would say Paul George, the way him and Westbrook is connecting. This is the most points he scored. This is the most rebounds he's had. He's probably the best on his team in 3 points. Like, he's getting that team corrected. Now, that's the positives of the NBA. Do I think Kyrie is coming back? It's not looking too good. Not looking too good at all. And just to see, this is why I tell you, everything's changed in a year. A year ago, this team, a couple calls away from making it to the finals, and now they're in the middle of the pack. They're not expected to do much. They continue. They go wins and losses, wins and losses, wins and losses. They haven't really got on that streak. It's just not the same. I'm telling you, ego is surely crept into that locker room. It's men looking at other men's problems and thinking, well, if he has that, why can't I have it? Things like that. And that shouldn't, whenever that enters the locker room, that's not a recipe for success. So I do think Kyrie's days are numbered. Do I think the Pelicans should have an issue with what Anthony Davis is doing? No, not at all. He has every right to request the trade. And even if it's to LA, he has that right. So they can't be mad at it. They can't ask the league to investigate it. That's not what's going to happen. You can't be upset because he's not satisfied with what you're doing as a team, the players you brought in. You brought in one of his good friends and you made him leave. Like, I'm not going to stay here either. The goal of all of this is to win. To win. You're not putting me in a position to win. It doesn't matter how much money you put in my pockets. That's only going to mean the teammates around me are only going to get worse. So, of course I want to leave. I miss doing this. But I'll definitely be back on Thursday. Sorry for the extreme delay. And thank you for watching. Share this with your friends. This is Zach Knows Podcast. I'm out.